Hey, hey. This week has not been the greatest. I have not been as productive as I would like. So, today is just a little candid talk of where we are, what's happening, and where we go from here. So, let me test because I am talking super low, right? Let me just make sure you can hear me. It's quiet in here, so you should be able to theoretically. So, yeah, today is day 37 and it should be at like around day 41, I believe. I've missed, I think, 4 live streams at this point. But I know of myself that I am a master. I can be a master procrastinator, especially when I'm not sure what I'm doing. Or yeah, if I'm not sure what I'm doing, like what the next step is, I will like put things off until like it'll just build up to where it's like, okay, that just ain't gonna happen, or it's gonna take so long. Why can I see my screen? Okay. It'll take so
It's
long.
gonna take so
Okay, so let
long.
me mute
Why
myself.
can I see my screen?
So
Okay.
yeah,
It'll
yeah, I know that about myself. Like if I have a list, I think I said this early on. I'm gonna just leave that on so I can see it. I think I said it early on that my personality, when I have a task and I have a process and I know what I'm doing, like I'm gonna boom, 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 especially if I have a list. Like if I have a list and I know what's next, I'm gonna go on to the next, to the next, to the next. Like I'm gonna knock them out. But if I run into a problem where I don't know what's next and I have to, especially like if I researches and I still don't know what's next, then I don't know what it is in me that just I don't know. I just kind of freeze, I guess you could say. Like I don't know why I can't just immediately pivot and go on to the next thing. So having said that, I have still been doing things, but at a snail's pace. Like before, we were knocking things out every day, something big every day. And so, once I got into the mode of like, okay, I'm not sure about this, and a lot of mental space was taken up with me really um having, I don't want to say imposter syndrome, but getting scared, point blank period. I got scared of the money piece, and like when I see it's gonna be way more than double, at least initially right now. Like I think that kind of scared me into like, do you really want to take this risk so close to like I want to retire early. I want to retire at 55. I'm 48 right now. So I'm like, if I take this risk and I gamble, you know, on the upswing, it will be fantastic, right? It will change all of our lives if I take this risk. And it's a calculated risk. I felt like I counted the cost, but like I said, it's looking like it could possibly double what I initially thought it was going to be. So I don't know. I'm all over. My mind is all over the place. There's like so many things that I could be doing or that I should be doing, and I'm not doing. Even in the stall, like even while I was stalled and I didn't know what the next step was, or I couldn't move to the next step, there were other things that I could have been doing in that time. So I did sit down in that time and make me a list. So all of these things, I was like, okay, maybe if I have a visual representation, let me let you see this. So I put physical things that I physically need to do and things that are going to be like web or digital based, right? So that is the list. It's not inclusive of everything, but I felt like if I had a way to just kind of separate the two and be able to just see it outside of my Trello board, because none of this is on the Trello board. Like, this is things that were just kind of like weighing my mind down, like, oh, you got to do this and then that and then that. And I just kind of got in this hamster wheel of not doing anything because there was so many thoughts coming at me at the same time. I just, I basically froze. And I've kind of gotten into this mode of procrastinating and not doing anything, where I've had the time, like I've gotten in and had at least 2 to 3 hours during the work week when I got home that I could have worked on some, if not most of everything on that digital side could probably be done by now. But, just stalled and procrastinating. And that's what it is. Point blank, period. So, like I said, my thoughts have been all over the place. I finally, yesterday, I did the stream that I didn't have yesterday, the day before we were on the live, and I said I wanted to reach out to the branding company. I pretty much was like on the fence with, like, I know I like that company, Guiding Brands. I really like them. I really like their vibe. I like the conversation that we had and everything. I wasn't prepared for the price, but I know that having a solid brand is worth the money. So I know it's going to be worth it. I just know that I'm not ready right now. So I sent her an email, I sent Karen Vick of Guiding Brands an email last night and just let her know, like, hopefully when I am ready, you guys will still have availability for me. And that I'm still interested in working with you guys, but just not right now. Like, I know I'm at least 2 months out before I'm even looking at getting the brand, situated, because you saw the list. I wanted to have some of that done before so that it could be a cohesive brand, but because I'm still working the kinks out on my brand positioning and feeling like I'm not 100% clear on it, I don't want to be flip-flopping back and forth and not having a solid foundation to sit down and have a real discussion, because that question really threw me, because I thought I knew, and it's not. My mind is too cluttered, and I don't feel like, I have the answer. I don't. I don't feel like I have the answer. And the more that I'm kind of working through this, the more I'm like, yeah, not yet. But I feel like I'm close. So the other thing is, the only persons that know that I'm doing this is my husband and my accountability partner, outside of like you guys. But my family and friends, nobody knows that I'm doing this. And not that they are not, they're great. They're really, whatever I do, they're going to support me. And I know that. But when you share your vision and you're not 100%, I feel like, this is my own thought on it, but I feel like when you share your vision before you're ready to share your vision and those questions come, I'm already kind of shaky on it, like I'm already in that, I'm having fearful moments. So I don't want to share it with somebody and have them poo poo on my, or like come at me with questions or come at me with criticism, and that's just going to make it even more so, having anxiety and being unsure of, like, is this really the vision that you want to do? So I haven't shared it with my family and friends because they're coming from a good place, and I know that 100%. Like, it would never be like, oh, you can't do this, or who are you? None of that. It would never be that conversation, but it would be, deep conversations where I'm just like, I'm not ready to have those conversations. And, well, they're going to ask the questions that I'm grappling with right now, basically. So I haven't shared it, but there is some guilt. And yeah, I kind of feel guilty about not sharing it with them. Like, I know some folks' feelings will be, some kind of way of finding out. My plan was to at least go the 90 days and hopefully not get found out before then, but go to 90 days, get the foundation done so that I'm clear and I have a stable foundation. I can come to them and say, this is what I'm doing. This is the monetary plan. This is where I'm getting this from. Like, have everything lined up so that when I do have those hard conversations, or not even hard conversations, but when the questions come, I can answer it. And I'm not like, well, I don't know, I think what I'm gonna do is like, no, I have to be 100% vested and like know the numbers and know everything before I share it. I feel like with my family and friends. So there is that. So that's weighing on me too. And then yeah, so I don't know. I'm steady plugging forward. We're like I said, we're about 41 days in now. Excuse me, we're about 41 days in now, and we have made some really good progress, but we're not where we should be right now. But that's okay. At the end of the day, I want it to be right. I want to, make sure that I'm doing the right things in the right time. And this is, my livelihood is on the line. Like, I can't make too big of a gamble, because if I do, that means I'm going to be stuck. When I want to retire, I won't be able to retire, and I am leaving. I have made up my mind. When it's time, when my number is up, I'm out. Like, I'm done. And as a side note about retirement, so I have been blessed with having a job or a career that has a pension attached to it. But even saying that, I'm I understand that even with my pension, if I leave at 55, I will be leaving with only about 47% of my current salary. So that is a significantly, and we know cost of living is rising every day, as evidenced by how much eggs cost. So that is a significant cut in income, even though I won't be working. So some expenses will go down, but not to the level of less than half of what I'm bringing in. So I feel like the gamble is worth it, because I don't want to be working at Walmart greeting folks, or taking a second job, or hell, to having two jobs after retirement because things don't make sense. So my why has been always to retire early. And this is a way that I can do that and help the most amount of people in the process. So I feel like it's a win win. I feel like this is a good time for creating this type of business, because I feel like the creator economy is just going to only get bigger from here. People are starting to really understand the power of brand and personal brand, and having a digital presence for your online business, or having a digital presence for your business, period. So the young people get it. They get it. They all want to be influencers, but I don't think a lot of them, they want to be influencers. I think a lot of young people do because they see the clout and they see the fame part of it, and they don't really see the business part of it. Like, they see the money, but they don't see the full scope of it. I feel like that's just my opinion. I mean, I'm just one person, but I think this is a good time for a content studio. So I don't know. I'm in a weird space. I am honestly in a weird space where I know what I'm doing is good. I know my reason for doing it is good. I know that there's a market for it. There is definitely some competition down here, not as much as like Atlanta, but there is a little bit of competition. So that means that the concept is proven, that people are using it, like people are doing it. But there's this fear of the unknown, and I don't know, I'm just so I don't know. I don't want to say fearful, but there is a good deal of fear there. There is a good deal of, what if it doesn't work? If it doesn't work and it's all for naught, like what does that look like for me? But I'm a very optimistic person, so I'm always like, but what if it does? You know what I mean? So before I hop off, I I see where I'm heading off the rails, and I'm making the personal decision to do something drastic. My husband is going to probably go ballistic, like, why are you doing this? This is crazy. I am going to, I'm not, I want to. I had read this book on my Kindle a couple months back, the 5 a.m. Club, right? I read it on my Kindle, and as I was reading the book, I was like, man, the concepts in this book are really good. And like, I really want to be, I've never been a morning person. Like, kindergarten, my first day of kindergarten, my mom had to come get me from school because I cried the whole day because I was sleepy. I cried from the moment I got out of the bed to the moment she came and got me from school. So I have never been a morning person. And I feel like being comfortable with getting up at the last minute and just rushing off. And then when I come home, I'm like trying to get on the live right before bed because it's like, okay, this is when I can fit you guys in. I'm going to have to do something drastic. So, what I'm doing, what I am tasking myself with is becoming a morning person by hook or by crook. I am going to 5 a.m. 5 a.m. club every day until, well, 5 a.m. club is forever. So once I get into the routine, that's it. At least until I have met my goal and this is a successful business, I have to do something drastic because I just don't see how this thing can work with me working a full-time job. Granted, I don't have any other pulls on my time like that. Um, but trying to fit it in after work, it's not working out. It's really not working out. And I need more, I don't want to say accountability, but I have to do something different. I have to do something different with my life to get me on a routine and a schedule. And that this is my answer. I was sold when I read this book a couple months ago. I really was like, yeah, I'm gonna do it. I didn't do one day of 5 a.m. In my head, I was like, yeah, I'm gonna do it. I'm getting up at 5 a.m. But I have to. Even the last 2 days, I've been like, okay, just try to get yourself up an hour earlier. Like if you could just get up 1 hour earlier, you could do that. I set that alarm. I was like, yeah, no. I'm up, I'm laying in the bed, I'm thinking of like, okay, what I need to do, but I didn't get out of bed. Next thing you know, I was asleep again. So I'm gonna do it. I have to. There is no other way for me, I feel like, to get this done and make a difference unless I commit to doing something different. and it can't be the same old same. I have to do something different. So that's where I'm at with it. So from tomorrow on, I'm gonna go to bed soon, but this will be my last late night. Yeah, this will be my last late night getting on here. If you down and you want to get up with me, feel free. I am going to get on. I'll be so glad when we have 50 followers so I could just get on my phone and I had to pull out the computer and do the whole description and da 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 da. Da. So I am going to go ahead when I get off here and schedule a live for 5 a.m. in the morning. Yeah, 5 a.m. in the morning. So that means I have to be up already to be on here. So yeah. When this one ends, I'm gonna commit myself to 5 a.m. and I'm going to schedule them every day, 5 a.m. Even if I only get on here for a few minutes, I'm gonna leave it on. As long as I'm up before I go to work. I don't know. I had to let Jose know in the morning. Don't be doing that crazy because I'm gonna have a live stream on. But I already know he's gonna be like, "Why are you doing this? Why are you torturing yourself?" Because I already know the first couple days gonna be horrible. Probably the first 2 weeks will be horrible. But there was one thing in here that it just has been on my head. And I sat on here and I found it. I ain't got my glasses on, and I can't see, but there's a quote in here that he says a couple of times, and it keeps just running in my head. So I'm gonna, for posterity, I'm going to put this in here. It says, "All change is hard at first, messy in the middle, and gorgeous at the end." So I know it's gonna be hard. This starting a business has been hard. The first couple weeks was so easy, like we was just doing stuff, but yeah, I don't really remember all of the tenets of the morning routine in here, but for my purposes, I don't care. I'm getting up at 5 a.m. and I know I'm going to do at least 20 minutes, 20 minutes of some kind of physical activity. I want to learn yoga. Like I want to start back doing yoga. 20 minutes of working on this business and 20 minutes of either meditation or journaling. So that is what my 1 hour will look like. The rest of that time will be focused on getting Hustle and Heart Studio open. So I don't know. I guess I will. It's almost midnight. Yeah, I got to get up before 5 a.m. I'm going to schedule a live and hope to see you guys rocking with me on these 5 a.m. mornings. If not, I'll see you in the live stream. Have a good night.